Everyone tells you to max out your RRSP. I mean, they tell you to contribute early, get the tax deduction, tell you to watch it grow. And yes, we know that is great advice, right? Because I've also maxed out my RRSP this year. Now I'm thinking, okay, great. What do I do for the rest of the year? How do I invest over the next few months? Now, here's what I found. We're so focused on beating the goal that we haven't really thought about what comes next after we've reached that goal. So here's exactly what to do next in order to make the best use of your cash. So if you're like me, if you are someone who has maxed out your RRSP and you're thinking of what to do next with your cash, this video is for you. So let's get into it. So first, take a second to celebrate yourself because it's a huge accomplishment. Maxing out your RRSP is not an easy thing. It's not a small thing to do. Most Canadians never get there because it's hard. To be honest, think about it. Now, you've built a habit, you stayed consistent, and you've put out some money in place for your future. That is something you should be proud of. But don't celebrate so much because we have work to do. Now, if you're wondering what to do after you've maxed out your RRSP, the very next place your money should go, if you still have contribution room, is your TFSA, which is the tax-free savings account. So think of the RRSP and the TFSA as two different kinds of tax shelters. The RRSP saves you money on the way in. You get a deduction today, but you pay taxes when you pull the money out much later in life. The TFSA is the opposite one of it, which is you don't get any deductions when you contribute today. But every dollar that grows inside that account, every dollar that you eventually withdraw later on is completely tax-free forever. Now, here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite way to think about it. The RRSP is like getting a discount at the grocery store when you walk in, so you get a great deal up front. The TFSA is like getting everything into your grocery cart for free. And on the way out, nobody asks you for the bill. No one charges you for anything. Now, once your RRSP is maxed out for the year, the TFSA is the next best place for your dollars. You can pull your money out of your TFSA at any time for any reason without paying any taxes on it and without also losing your contribution room permanently. The only thing is you'll get your contribution room back the following January. So if you've not been listening, just to quickly recap, max out your TFSA if you have contribution room after your RRSP. A lot of very disciplined savers, a lot of very disciplined people fall into a common trap once they max out their registered account. They like to believe that there's nowhere else left to go. So they either spend the cash or they just let it sit idle in an account somewhere and in very, very low interest in the savings account. Meanwhile, there's a very strong option out there for them to use without losing step in their investment plan. And I'm talking about the non-registered investment accounts. These are sometimes called a taxable account, or you can call them a cash account. So either of these three terms, they mean the same thing. Here's what you need to know about this. You pay taxes on the gains in this account, but those taxes are not as bad as people think, especially if you're holding index ETF, which I'm guessing a lot of people are, which I'm guessing a lot of you are doing this, holding index ETFs into your registered account. So 3 things I want you to know. 1, the capital gains are taxed at a discount. So if your ETFs grow and you eventually sell, only half of that gain is added to your income for tax purposes. That's the capital gains inclusion rate. And it's actually a pretty friendly tax treatment compared to your regular income. Another thing to know is Canadian dividends get a tax credit. So if you hold Canadian stocks or ETFs that pay Canadian dividends, you actually get preferential tax treatment called the dividend tax credit. And it's not the most exciting sentence I've ever said, but it's going to save you real money. So think about it. The third thing to note is interest income is the least efficient means of income because it is taxed like regular income. So if you hold a non-registered account, you'll be better off holding growth-oriented investments like a broad equity ETF than something that is spitting out interest a lot like bonds. What you should do with your bonds, if you have bonds, is keep it in your RSP where the interest is sheltered and let equities live in the non-registered accounts. So let's bring it all together, right? You are a disciplined saver, you're someone who's committed to saving and investing for the long haul, and you get consistent income. Here's the order in which your dollar should move through. First, max out your employer match. So some of your employers match 3-5%. That is 100% return. So take advantage of your employer match, right, in your RSP. Second, max out your own RSP contribution. So if you're watching this video, it probably means you've already done that and you're here to get more information, which is good. Now, the third thing to do is max out your TFSA if you still have contribution room. That is tax-free growth, and you have total flexibility, and there's no tax on your withdrawal ever. The fourth thing, very important, open a non-registered account and put in the same investments that you have in your tax-registered accounts. So buy the same ETFs and everything that you've been buying in your other accounts into your non-registered account. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. Maxing your RRSP is not the finish line. It's more like you're just leveling up because there's still some things to do. It means your saving habit is strong enough that the registered account limits cannot continue anymore. They just can't hold you down. Now, that is a good problem to have. So I want you to keep the same energy you brought to maxing out your RRSP to using that same energy to invest in the non-registered accounts. And if you want to get more tips like this, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment, share the video with somebody, and I'll see you on the next one.